Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Shaz and this is Shazness Wellness, and I have someone really special with me today. This is Ken from Be Elite, and he's co-founder of Stress Reduce Fat Loss, and he is a huge influence on gut and hormone health. So Ken, just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
For myself, like you said, we designed a system called Stress Reduce Fat Loss, which is finding the root causes to problems, providing healing for them, for the clients, and solutions so their body can not only get better, but also show cosmetic side effects. We do it with clients, we help them with that. And as well, we started a business called the Transformation Mentorship, where we now teach practitioners how to use the Stress Reduce Fat Loss system to get other clients results in essence.
Yeah, awesome. So if you're in quarantine and you want to up your coaching game or your personal training game, definitely I'll link all that stuff below for you, Ken, so that they'll know how to reach out if they want to do that program. So today's video is all the supplements that you can take, or some of our suggestions on what to take during a Candida cleanse, because I'm sure you've been like in a point in your life where you've even felt overwhelmed with what to do, or like how to even tell clients like what to take, because it's overwhelming. There's so much stuff out there. So let's firstly just talk about like some signs and symptoms of Candida. What are the ones like you notice the most with some clients?
Some of the biggest ones are clients that tend to have low stomach acid, so they don't digest things very well. So they're always bloated. They may be gassy a lot. Not necessarily too much body fat, but just the stomach really protruding a lot.
Right.
As well, obviously the white coated tongue. If they have any skin issues like eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, as well as bathroom being a little bit off.
Yeah.
Last one is weight. I find that people, they go, my weight goes up, but it doesn't necessarily come down. It just keeps climbing.
Yeah.
That seems to be some pretty straightforward symptoms where I start going, okay, what's going on here? So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can speak for myself here too. All of those, I actually personally didn't have too much of a white tongue, but most of the clients that I get, and like for me too, like I had such a bad brain fog, and I like fluffed it off because like our society is like, oh, it's just stress. You're busy. You're tired. That's normal. Everyone's tired. But like, there's a different level of fatigue when you have Candida. It's so draining on the body, and just like the byproduct of Candida, it's kind of like alcohol. It makes you kind of feel drunk.
That's right.
And
yeah,
you're
right.
like, yeah. So I think that's definitely a big symptom too for me personally. And again, like most of my clients will relate to that like loopy feeling all the time. And it's just exhausting. It's hard. It's like, how can you work and do all this stuff when you have Candida? Candida. Oh, Candida. Okay, so we're going to get into it. So I'm going to get Ken to explain his like supplements that he would recommend for Candida. So definitely just get a pen and paper, write it down. I'll also link everything below if you rather just like a link to like Amazon or wherever you are. I just do want to quickly say these supplements obviously depend on at least three things. One, like what works best for your body. You'll probably have to trial and error a few because some work, some don't work. You probably could vouch for this too, but garlic is a good antifungal, but if you have IBS, sometimes that could cause some irritation. I know like for me, I had some few Candida supplements that had garlic in it, but like hurt my belly. So you have to keep that in mind. Like not all of these are going to be great for you. Do your research and just figure that out. Two, where you are in the world, right? So like we are both based in Ontario and Canada. So keep that in mind for what we recommend. Just check what's going on for you and what's available. Another good tip is whatever we recommend, look within the ingredients and then just Google like some of them that are in there and see what you can find around you.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. And then the third thing is just your budget, right? Like don't feel so overwhelmed that you need to spend like thousands of dollars. Like you need to do what's best for you in your own comfort level. So just go off of what we recommend, make a list, look at your budget and just do what you can. I think we both feel that supplements are a really big part of Candida cleanse. So just definitely do what you can. So I just want to mention that before you get overwhelmed and feel like you can't afford all of this. Just, just learn here and, take it with a grain of salt and just do your research and do what you can. So, Ken, your supplements, what do you got for us?
That being said, just quickly, one of the things I like to do first with people is make sure the bowel's clear. Because a lot of times when there's a lot of toxin release, it can really shut the bowel down. So In the past, I've used Herbotox by Genestra or Soroil, whichever company they're fighting over right now. Herbotox is one, and I've also used Cleanse More by Renew Life, which can be a little bit tricky because it works really well, and sometimes the bowel can get a little attached to it, but those are two great supplements I usually like to start a week ahead with.
Okay.
Usually first, if it's a female instead of a male, if it's a female, then I would recommend either Candigen HMF, which is by Genestra, which is an ovule that you'd use, or I would use Femina Flora by New Roots. I find that they're both in the fridge and you can use those. Right. And I would pair those with Echina Seal, which is a wonderful liquid that is so tasty and you'll love it.
The first time you recommended that to me, I was like,
I know, it's a tough one.
Brutal.
So Echina Seal is great. It's almost your infection fighter. Those would be usually a first 2-week phase. Then I would get into pills, either using things like Candicin by Genestra. Keep using the Echina Seal. You can use Saccharomyces Boulardii, which is a nice bacteria that they may give you for traveler's diarrhea, which goes and chews out all the yeast, actually goes after it.
Yeah. But what can happen? Because for me, it did make me a bit bloaty, and that's normal, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just want people to know that, because I think when people take Candida cleanse supplements, they just assume like I'm gonna feel better right away. Like you might have die-off symptoms, your symptoms might worsen, you might get bloated because the bacteria is doing what it needs to do, but it's just causing it's like a battle in there, right? So
yeah, Saccharomyces is tricky. It's tricky because if your stools aren't loose, Saccharomyces will slow it down.
Right, exactly.
So if your stools are perfect, it may really slow it down. So you may have to maybe do one every other day as opposed to 2 a day, and it does that to me, so I know I have to really be careful with it.
Yeah, it does that to me as well. Yeah.
And then I may go into Candigone or CandiSmart for those of you that are in the States or anywhere else in the world. Candigone doesn't exist outside of Canada. It's by Renew Life, but CandiSmart does exist.
It's pretty similar. I really like the kit. It makes it easy too.
Yeah, you get the kit, you hit it up bang, and the liquid isn't as bad as Echina Seal, so you're all happy.
Yeah.
And I would run those 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, just so yeast is not getting used to what you're doing, and then
right. That's super important. Well. That's a great tip. Yeah. So whatever you do use for Candida, exactly that tip, rotate. So Candida, they're just a smart bugger, right?
That's right.
They know what you're trying to do. They know you're trying to kill the yeast. So they'll create shield and be like, I know what we're doing. I know what you're doing here. So that rotation will just help make sure your healing process is on track. So awesome. Great.
That's right. Yeah. Those are the ones I usually use. There's others, but I like these the best. Like these the best. And then if they can't find stuff, I'd recommend other ones, but I think most people should be able to find these somewhere, Amazon or
right. Absolutely. And so Ken, all the supplements that you just recommended, those are mostly antifungals specifically to kill the Candida, right? Or is there
yeah. And well, let's say Candicin. Candicin is does have a little bit of wormwood in it, and I like to use it because if someone does have parasites, which we know when you have yeast, you can have parasites coming along for the ride. It'll actually start smacking out the parasites.
Right.
So with that, if someone does have parasites as well as yeast, I give them the Candicin. They're gonna know it. They're gonna go, I feel like I got the flu. I feel a little bit not so great. Right. And I'll be like, oh, I think you may have a parasite kicking around in there. And it just gives you a nice understanding of that. Okay, I may have to do something parasitic after.
Right. So. Absolutely. I honestly, and I've pretty much used all of those, I think, because just for those who don't know, who haven't followed my channel, Ken was my gut health coach and really, really helped me with my Candida and my IBS and my hormones. So honestly, just a slow clap for Ken right now. Thank you, Ken. And again, I'll leave his info below because he's just great. Even if you want to check out his Insta, he shares so many great tips and stuff. So that's all. Yeah. Again, if you found that really overwhelming, just breathe. Don't worry. Again, check out all the links below. And again, you can always just reach out to one of us as well if you have any specific questions, because that's what we do. Just for anyone who's around the world who maybe just doesn't have those available to you, a really popular antifungal is oregano oil. If you haven't heard of it, it's a simple thing that you can get. You can get the oil or you can get the capsules. Again, that antifungal is just the thing that's going to help kill the yeast. So it is important though, if you can rotate your antifungals, it's important. So you can try something like caprylic acid, or garlic if you can do that. And those are just like the simple forms, to break it down if that's something that's available to you. The second thing that I think that I would recommend is a multivitamin. And I think this is a really big thing, like to support your body during this. Because one, when you do a Candida cleanse, you already have to take out so many fruits and vegetables. And that's just really hard on your body. You're not getting many vitamins, you're not getting many minerals, and you already feel weak. And so your body needs to feel strong to help push that Candida out. So I'll leave a few links below. Like I'm not going to do any like specific brands because I'm just trying to speak to anyone. But I'll leave the links below of a few multivitamins that I really love. Okay, let's talk about magnesium. Honestly, I want you to talk about magnesium because you can put me on magnesium. So give me the spiel about magnesium.
Magnesium is great because it's, it does almost 300 different reactions or functions in your body. So when you don't have it, cortisol's higher, your bowel's more constricted, your insulin's higher, which means yeast fungus feed more. There's so many things that magnesium can do. So having a great magnesium will allow you to keep going to the bathroom properly, sleep better when they're partying at night, and then, which is important, right?
Yeah.
And then also allow you to handle stress better because your system is under stress. You're not always feeling great.
Yeah.
So magnesium will help keep you calmer and a little bit more like, okay, a little bit even keel through this time, which is important, right?
Absolutely. Honestly, I noticed a huge difference in magnesium. So yeah, just to recap, magnesium is great for anyone who like struggles with constipation as well too, or with sleep, and just generally with anxiety, because you're right, like Candida is already making you stressed out. Like your body's already stressed out, but also it's stressing you out in general. And a lot of people with Candida that come to us are highly anxious people. I think Ken can even vouch for the times that I'd call him and text him like, oh my God, what do I do about this? And what do I do about that? Like you're not confident at all in anything you do. And it's such an uncomfortable feeling. So yeah, I really think magnesium definitely help with that. But keep in mind too, that like, I think we both believe in a mind, body, and spirit approach to Candida. So we'll definitely work on your mental health and your breathing. Ken's a big, Ken put me on, what's this called? Alternate nostril breathing. Yeah, I really, it's so important. Like your mental homework is just as important as like your supplement homework and your nutrition homework, because when you can align your body, mind, body, and spirit to help heal, it will just come it'll come together a lot quicker for you. So
absolutely.
Awesome. And then a few things that you probably know, which is like bone broth. Bone broth's really great. Obviously help to heal and seal the gut, give you the extra protein you need if you're struggling to like get enough calories in your food. Collagen is also great. What else is really good? Oh, I want to talk about supporting the liver. So supporting the liver just because, again, your body's just going through a lot to detox. So anything like, you can even just buy teas. Like I just like to sip on milk thistle. It's always hard for me to say that. Milk thistle tea. Yeah, you can buy liver support. There's tons of liquids out there as well.
Yeah.
Is there any specific you like, Ken?
Metagenics has one called LipoGen.
Right.
It supports the gallbladder and the liver. I think Trophic has one called Digestive Aid or just Digestive Support. It all helps gallbladder and liver so it doesn't get all backed up while they're trying to clean a little bit. So
okay. So wow, blah, 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 so many supplements. Again, don't be stressed out. Is there anything else you want to add, Ken, about like Candida supplements or just the cleanse in general?
Yeah, you know what? I always say the number one thing that people should really be having is a great stomach acid. They should be doing that because that's where yeast and fungus starts. That's where the cartel starts in the stomach. And if you aren't digesting all your food and we're killing it in the intestines and they're growing in the stomach, it's like, hey, it's like, that's a problem. It's like zombies keep coming. So we want to have a good stomach acid to kill them off and stop them at the start, which is important. So
right. So what would you recommend for that? Because honestly, a lot of people have low stomach acid in general, I think too.
Yeah.
So
what I can do is I can send you just a little write-up on that. They can test it themselves with some different products they can use all around the world, and then that'll help them figure it out for themselves, and they can go from there. So
Awesome. Yeah. And just like a beginner starter is just like honestly having apple cider vinegar in the morning or having a shot with every meal if you do have low stomach acid. Again, making sure it's diluted. For some people that can do it. For most people, it's just not enough. So you just have to know, again, it all comes down to you and individual wellness. That's all about what I am, just making sure it's tailored to you specifically. So I think this is definitely a video you're gonna need to check the description because it's overwhelming. I hope you definitely grabbed a few things that you found informative, or even if you just felt a little hope or encouragement that like you can do this. Like Ken and I both have gone through Candida. Okay,
yeah,
we've
absolutely.
helped many people do it. I know it seems impossible. It's not impossible. It really takes patience and consistency.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't ready to commit to that. They want it to be over in a week and a month. And for some people, it just takes 3 to 6 months or longer. You have to really reflect how long you've damaged your gut for and how long you need to heal it, right, Ken?
Very, very well said. I couldn't have
Thank
said
you.
it better.
Yeah, I think, yeah, again, everyone's different, but I know me personally, I damaged my gut for almost a decade. So my healing journey was not a week long. It was very
That's
long.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. That's a good
awesome.
point.
Yeah, thank you. So any encouraging words or anything else you want to close on here?
I'm just remembering, and I think Shaz talked about this quite a bit, is changing the environment. You know, we talked a lot about killing today and changing things and going after yeast fungus, but remember, it's like a gated community. Crime doesn't want to be somewhere where it stands out. So if you're having yeast and fungus, you have to look at it. She said, eating well, eating whole foods on her channel. She talks a lot about that. So yeast and fungus doesn't want to live there.
Right.
And that's the best thing you can do is change that environment. So.
Absolutely. And that's like a whole different video, what to eat, what not to eat. So I'll definitely, yeah, like Ken's like, that's a whole different topic here. But this was specifically on supplements. So again, I hope you found this helpful. Thank you again, Ken, for just making the time. I'm really grateful for your time and
Oh, hey, it's fun. I always love talking about this. I could talk for hours. That's
right? We're like, oh, we're the weirdos that talk about Candida. Oh, goodness. So I hope everyone's doing well and safe in quarantine if that's where you are in your life. And we both just send so much love and light and wish you best on your Candida journey. So
absolutely. Thank you.